All right, it's finally Southeast Michigan's turn to get in on the snow action. You've been telling me for like 2 years that you want a snowstorm, and here it finally is. So we are looking at 6 to 9 inches for southeastern Michigan. Notice off to the Flint and Lansing areas, generally about 4 to 6, and then from Grand Rapids to Bay City and points northward from there. I'm going to watch closely because I might be shaving down those totals just a little bit there. I think we'll have a pretty abrupt cutoff from where there's moisture to no moisture, so those could shrink a little bit. I'll have to update the map into the day tomorrow. Don't like doing that, but it just depends on exactly where that cutoff is going to be. But keep in mind, a couple of inches there are still possible. It's nothing new by now. We've had so much snow the last couple of weeks, it's nothing new at all. 2 4 inches shouldn't be the end of the world, especially fluffy stuff. But some key points here: light fluffy snow, north wind 10 to 20 miles per hour, so that fluffy snow will be blowing around. Reduced visibilities for sure while the snow is falling, but when it blows around, we could have very brief impacts of maybe near zero visibility at times. So again, blowing snow in the wind chill generally throughout the day will be -5 to +5. So definitely, if you are going to be driving or traveling, especially between two cities over a bigger distance, have an emergency kit packed in your car, because if you go off the road, those temperatures are cold enough that you're going to wish you had something like water or a blanket, a way to stay warm. So better to be safe than sorry. And keep in mind, with temperatures like this, salt is going to be virtually ineffective, so road conditions are pretty much going to be hot garbage, to say the least. And that's being generous. So in terms of timing here, this is going to be a little bit updated probably as we go throughout the day tomorrow. I'm using a different model here that goes out just a little bit further. It's the North American model for those of you that like to keep track. But here is the storm system entering parts of southern Michigan. Now there's a little clock right at the top of the screen. This is midnight into your early Sunday morning. And notice that lake effect band over Lake Michigan could have some mesovortices in there. So let's go into, well, sunrise. So this is 8 o'clock in the morning. Notice the huge storm down to the south for sure. We're starting to get that light to moderate snow along and south of 94, maybe up to that I-69 corridor as well. 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, same thing, light to moderate snow. By noon, 1, 2, 3, that's when the real moisture starts to come in. So Sunday afternoon, things will certainly start taking a turn for the worse, where you see the blue indicated there. And this is why I said I might also be shaving off that north side, because this model is picking up on that dry air eating away at the northern boundary of the storm pretty well. And that's what I've been communicating for like a week now, that the northern side dry air, we don't usually get these big drawn out areas going from 6 inches to 1 inch. They're really down over like the size of like one county most of the time. So as we get a little bit closer, I think that will kind of narrow down for us a little bit. This is 5 o'clock in the evening now into your Sunday, from Lansing to Flint, Detroit, down toward Jackson, Battle Creek, into the Thumb. We are going to see those conditions continue to deteriorate. And into the overnight, this is 9 p.m., still ongoing, getting a little bit of lake effect now off to the north and parts of Traverse City, Leelanau County as well, maybe down by Frankfort also. But the main storm system starts to pull out, and then lake effect will start to take over again. So I'm going to show you this model output snowfall just because I want to show you kind of the rate at which it's falling. So this is 6 o'clock in the morning, 7, 8, 9, 10 right there. And again, we're talking like an inch or so over several hours. So like I said earlier, it's going to be light and fluffy to start. Once we get into the afternoon though, right about here, 3 o'clock, that's when the real moisture starts to arrive. Look at those snowfall totals, how they start to increase in colors pretty quickly. We go from light blue to dark blue to purple, which indicates that possibility of over 6 inches that I was talking about, and that's going to fall pretty rapidly. So that was just from about 3 p.m. to around midnight, and notice that could mean about 1 inch per hour at times. That's when road conditions will start to deteriorate, and unfortunately that is going to last into Monday morning as some very cold air comes in and those winds continue to blow that snow around. Now lastly, I just want to take a quick zoom out because we are very much on the northern side of this system, getting grazed by it. I mean, look at these snow totals down to the south. We could be talking the areas in green, maybe 1 to 2 feet of snow coming your way, easily over a foot possible down there. And then even worse is I can switch it over to freezing rain, and that's where some folks are going to have all-out ice storm conditions. Very, very concerned about some really catastrophic ice totals from Louisiana through Mississippi, parts of Tennessee right there, and then another round in Appalachia. Unfortunately, the areas that were hit by Hurricane Helene could have some more damage and destruction coming their way again, and then maybe even some freezing rain over towards Richmond, just south of DC, and getting into really kind of the lower lands of North Carolina from Raleigh to east of Charlotte. I would advise you, though, if you're watching me from those areas, please seek out a meteorologist that is local down there. They're going to have the specific numbers for you, the specific details, a lot more than I can. I focus on Michigan, but with some interest down there, I just like to give folks a peek at what's going on. Now, there is a lot going on in terms of warnings that have been issued. We have extreme cold warnings, cold weather advisories for all these areas in the different color blues here, and that actually goes all the way into the northeast as well. Then you see the pink, which is a giant winter storm warning that goes all the way from Santa Fe down to the Gulf Coast in Houston, through Memphis, Nashville, into Raleigh, all the way to the Atlantic, through Boston, all the way to the Canadian border, through Cleveland, and this whole area. That is a winter storm warning. We have ice storm warnings in the purple that are just below that, winter weather advisories all the way through Myrtle Beach and the Outer Banks, and then cold weather advisories all the way down to the Gulf Coast as well. So there is a lot going on, and really 2/3 of the country is going to be impacted by this massive storm system.